Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Pixel Sheets tutorial. Today we're looking at another great function in Excel, the COUNTIF formula. Now what the COUNTIF formula does is different than a VLOOKUP. A VLOOKUP is finding a series of characters, a word, something that you want found, and is returning a value in another column. What a COUNTIF is doing, it is counting the quantity of times a specific entry appears. So there's a couple different ways that you can utilize COUNTIF within a spreadsheet. I'm going to show you the quickest and easiest way to see it, and then also more of a, we'll say, practical use that I have used in other spreadsheets. So for instance, here is a spreadsheet with a bunch of different fruits and vegetables in it. And let's say I want to know how many times a fruit or vegetable appears. COUNTIF formula is incredibly simple. Equals COUNTIF, start parentheses, and there's two pieces in here. A range and a criteria. Range being where you're looking. Criteria is what you want it to look for. So same thing for range as I've explained in the VLOOKUP video. You can select the entire column or you can select your specific range. If you select your specific range, when you copy cells down, your range will also move. So it depends on where you're trying to count. So I'm going to show you both ways again and use whichever one is preferable to you on your spreadsheets. So in this case, I'll select the range. I'm going to take the entire column, and my criteria is simply going to be the cell referenced right next to it, which is B4 in this case, end parenthesis 1. So in this list here, and I only have 40 items on it, it found the word apple only once. Now if I drag this formula down, here's one where it found multiples of kiwi. If I scroll down, there's kiwi down at the bottom of the list again. So it found it twice. And that is the COUNTIF formula, going through whatever set list you have and counting the occasions of it. Now, as I was saying before, if you wanted to do this again and have a specific range selected, the issue with dragging that down, I only need to drag a few, and you can see, is it also moves my range. And if you're moving your range, if apple or banana appeared down here on the list, it would only say it found one because now this apple and banana are outside of your range. So the way to protect that either is selecting the entire column or going into your formula for your range and protecting both the column and the row as with dollar signs. Column not necessary unless you're dragging the formula right or left. Left would overwrite the column itself and give an error. However, if you're dragging it to the right, it would also freeze your range. The practical use then for a COUNTIF, if running it down the entire column does not make sense, is you could also have a spreadsheet where you just want to know how many times does, I keep putting in plural, how many times does the word apple appear in the list? I can run the same formula, COUNTIF range, criteria pointing to this cell here, close parenthesis and 1, and I can change this value as many times as I want. You can have this referenced on a separate tab if need be. if you wanted to have data hidden in the background and have more of a dynamic type spreadsheet going for a user to type in a value of how many times does pair appear, but not seeing this content visibly on the screen to kind of hide your work. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Appreciate any kind of subscribes. Any questions or comments, please fill them out below. Until next time.